Today we're going to work on solving rational equations. So you can see that this equation on page 517, number 5, has a rational expression on each side of the equal sign. And over here I made notes about the domain, because this x could not equal 0 and this x plus 2 could not equal 0 because they're in denominators, which means x cannot be 0 and x cannot be negative 2. Then I multiplied this denominator to this side and this denominator to this side. Another way of thinking of that, sometimes people call that cross multiplying. You could think of it as multiplying this times this and this times this. You can only multiply when you have an equal sign in the middle. Keep that in mind. You cannot multiply across if you have fractions added together or something like that. So you can see I multiplied across, and then I FOILed it out, added my like terms, worked it out to x equals plus or minus 1. In this problem, this is a different situation. I can't cross multiply anything because I have addition in there. I can only cross multiply with a rational expression on each side, and that's it. So I looked for a common denominator by factoring out this denominator so I could see how does it relate to the other two denominators. And here's my common denominator that I multiplied on each side. Well, when I multiply it by this first term, the x minus 1 divides out, and I'm left with the 2, which I wrote right here, and the x plus 1, which I wrote right here. Then here's my plus, which I have right there. And when I multiply this times the other term, I end up dividing out the x plus 1. And so I have the x minus 1 and the 2, which you can see I've written down right there. And on the other side of my equation, when I multiply, the x minus 1 divides out, and so does the x plus 1. I'm just left with the negative 4. Then I distribute 2 times x and 2 times 1 plus 2 times x and 2 times negative 1. Add my like terms and work it out, and I got x equals negative 1, but back in the beginning of my problem I noticed that I could not have a 1 or a negative 1 because it would cause zeros in the denominator. So this problem has no solution.